Getting ready for my Savior. I am surely married. Very hot in South Africa. It's so hot. It's very hot in SA. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you may have seen, I was setting up my Canon to shoot my Fuji, which is right there, because I want to do this video. I don't want to be intercutting and stuff like that, so I just want to have one video that's flowing. This is literally my last day with my last few hours with the Fuji XS20 that has been loaned to me by Fuji South Africa, and thanks to Fuji South Africa for that. So I want to do a quick last impression or review of some of the things that I've found out. This video might be very long, but there are a lot of few things that have changed about this camera that I think a lot of people are going to be interested about. There are a lot of things that have been added to this camera that's kind of confusing here and there, but you get used to it pretty quickly, especially if you've been using the camera. One thing that I just found out, and I think I found out the second day I got this camera, is that you can now change some of your shooting settings while you are shooting, which was pretty much impossible on the first Fujis that I've used, and namely your XS10. So on the XS20, you can go to, while you are shooting, you go to the set, you go to set here, and you can change some of the stuff here. So remember the XS20 has you have things like your ISO, obviously. You have the microphone. You can change. You can put the filter on the microphone. You have the headphone volumes. So it's really good. I have my headphone here, and I can literally listen to myself because, yeah, I'll show you on another B-roll. The camera has now has a headphone ports. You can listen to that, so that's very nice. Those are some of the things that you couldn't do. And you can also put obviously Fujifilm simulation on the camera, and I'm sure it's the same thing for the XH2 as well as the XH2S, and hopefully the XT5, the newest camera that came out. So those are some of the few things that they've added in the camera, and I'm very much impressed about those. The menu looks pretty much like a Fuji menu. If I take my trusty XT2 here, and you can, as you've seen, I got an adapter. I think I've spoken about this in the previous video. I got an adapter, and I'm pretty impressed about it. And the autofocus on the XS20 is really good. This is one thing that impressed me the most. If I put the camera right here, you can see, get into focused onto me back, and this is something that really impressed me a lot. This is like Canon level autofocus. It still hunts, especially if the subject is backlit, and I experienced this today. For example, in this clip, my wife is backlit. On this other clip, the talent that I was shooting was backlit, and it was hunting a lot. And that is something that you really have to put to have into consideration, to make it to put into your thoughts when you are shooting. Backlit is not really the best thing when it comes down to shooting. So and I've tried it with an adapter as well. The autofocus works really well. This other video that you guys saw was shot on 50mm, the Canon STM Nifty 50, and it works pretty well with an adapter, especially with the newer one. It works really well. Unfortunately, with the XT2, it didn't really work well. It was hunting a lot, and that is something that I didn't really appreciate and liked so much. it's food for your thoughts, something that you can take into consideration. And so the autofocus on this camera, as I said, is really good. But how is the image quality? The image quality with the f2, the f-log2, especially the f-log2, is very delightful. It's 10-bit video. You can shoot in 10-bit 420 or 422. I'm shooting in 420 long all intra, because I feel like the all intra gives me the best possible file. They are big file size, but it gives me the best file to work on my computer. I've shot most of the stuff I shot here was in long op. Unfortunately, long op is not the best file possible, the best file as it is, because it's compressed and it doesn't really give you. It can be taxing on the computer, especially me, since I have a computer from 2020. It's a pretty solid computer, but yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't just handle those files very, very well. And I'm working on a project where I have like 7 layers on Premiere, 7 files, and the computer is filling it. So yeah, I'm having a lot of missed frame, and I can't really work on it properly. So that's something that you have to take into consideration when you are selecting which file sizes. I'm not really going to go into like doing a technical review here, because I think what you guys most want is to be able to find out if this camera is good for you. And for the short amount of time that I've had it, there's still plenty to discover, but I've been using Fuji for quite some time now that I know, and I believe I have in a position where I can recommend the camera or not. And yeah, 100% I can recommend this camera for you guys. But I've spoken about the overheating, and it does overheat. I think because you see it's very hot outside, because of that pattern you're seeing there. It is very hot. If I take out this camera and put it under the sun and shoot with it, I'm sure I'm going to get that warning about temperature getting high. But anyway, it's something that you can work with. It takes some time to shut off, but it switches off right after. So it's different from the Canon that doesn't record after. So you can still kind of work with it. But in a controlled environment like here in the house, it's really good, and I haven't had that issue. So that is a camera that this is a camera that I'm really impressed with. As I said, the battery grip, the new battery. I haven't charged this battery since yesterday. I did a few videos. I did one photo shoot with my wife, and I still have like about 20% of the battery remaining, and I'm still shooting here. I think even after this like 20-minute things, I'll still have like a really good battery life, and I can still like shoot a little bit. And you can charge with USB-C. That is something that I'm really happy about, because I can just plug a battery bank if I need to. I'll be able to charge the camera. So who is this camera for, to be honest? Who is this camera for? Entry level. This is a Fuji entry level, but it gives you so much of the pro level features that I don't know if I really can consider this entry level per se. Whereas if you have a Canon, entry level is definitely entry level. Canon doesn't do that separation between like different tires or thing. Sony as well as like, and you have Sony entry level, still pretty good, because Sony does give you a lot of features in the cameras. But I think like Fuji just went a step ahead and a step above everybody. So he went beyond what everybody could have expected, because this is literally a mini XH2, XH2S, yes. So I am really impressed with what they've given in this camera, and I'm pretty happy, and I'm probably going to get this as my next camera, because as I said, the X-T2 was for me just a way to get into the Fuji system, and I'm glad I was able to get a Fuji to EF adapter. So one of the reasons why I got a Fuji to EF adapter is that here in South Africa, EF glasses are readily available and sort of cheaper. So by the time I start building my lens collection for Fuji, this will work for me so far. For photo is okay, for video not so much, but I'm not probably going to do a lot of video work with this camera. I am planning to get myself an XS20 with the amazing 18 to 50 lens. It's 18 to 55 lens, which is really good lens and very sharp. It's the lens I'm shooting with right now. Not like this lens. I've spoken about this lens, and I think Fuji need to stop making this lens altogether. This is the lens. Oh, why does it have a Canon lens cap? This lens is a toy, is a joke. It works, but it's an awful lens. It does what it's supposed to do, but I don't like it. So I'm probably gonna slap it right now, or just change this to this lens so that you guys can see how it behaves and how the picture looks like. So I'm shooting at f2, but unfortunately this lens lowest aperture is f3.5. So I'm gonna slap it on the XS20 just to see how it works and how's the autofocus. I might also use the adapter just to so that you guys can see. So let me just move this camera back a little bit. I'm shooting my camera with another camera. So this is the setup. So I'm going to change this lens now. Let's just do it now quickly. So this is another lens on the camera. My wife is over there now. She's visible because it's super wide. Let me just zoom in a little bit to go back to where I was. 18. Yeah, so this is the other camera, the other lens, and as you can see, I don't know if there's much difference. I'm sure now it's at f4. Oh, you see there is what I'm saying. So it's just overheats on me now. There is a signal that it's overheating, and I'm inside the house. It's pretty cool. It's not too hot, to be honest. There is just a light next to the camera, and I had that overheating message now. Yeah, this is the issue with this camera. It makes you a little bit think about it. So it's right there. It's right there. If you can, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this small camera. So I have the overheating. The overheating signal, or I don't know, icon there. So that's my only worry with this camera, the overheating. I think the technology that they've put here, because the body is so small, it's not really able to take advantage of that. There is a fan that you can use. Maybe if I get the camera, I'll get it with the fan just to avoid this stressful situation. But why to make it, why couldn't they just make it slightly bigger, just slightly bigger, a little bit, just slightly wider? Maybe they needed to repurpose some material, and that's the reason why they've done it like that. But yeah, this is the other Fuji lens that I really don't like much, because as you can see, everything is mechanical. Everything is like, not mechanical, I mean, sorry, it's manual, so aperture is variable. This is a proper Fuji lens. If you're getting a camera if you're getting any Fuji, please get it with this lens, or at least the other one, the older one, because these newer ones, they are not really the best. This one is an XF lens. So the XF lenses are a little bit better than your like normal lenses, or so yeah. So this is a little bit like, this lens is very sharp, corner to corner. It is variable aperture, but it goes for f2.8 to f4, which is really good. So you can still get away with float-out situation. And this camera itself, the ISO, I haven't spoken about it, but the ISO on this camera is really, really good. F-Log2 minimum ISO, base ISO is 1250, which is kind of nuts, because I don't know, any other brand don't do that. How's the autofocus on this lens though? It is rather good. It is pretty good. It is good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, the autofocus on the other lens is also good. I'm not gonna slap back this other lens, because yeah, the review is pretty much over. What else? The Fujifilm simulation. I haven't spoken about it much, because I think there are quite a lot of people that have spoken about it. But the colors is what matter the most for me. How much can I? For example, I do photos as well in studio as well as outdoor. What matters for me the most is how much it details, how much information, how much can I push the file in terms of the colors. And I've shot outside with my wife. She was wearing white. I've shot outside videos. So you guys know white is very hard to expose perfectly, especially if the person is of another skin tone. So it's very hard to find the perfect balance. But I was able to recover some details on some of the shots. As soon as I got this camera, the day I got this camera, I shot a few stuff. I just wanted to compare this camera and the X-T2. There was not much difference in terms of the color. I was using the same lens, so granted this is a 26 megapixel and the X-T2 is a 24 megapixel, but I'm very impressed about this camera. Unfortunately, one funny thing is that my next camera is gonna be the X-T1. I found a very good deal on that, and I'm just trying to get all my things sorted so that I can get that X-T1. it's coming with a lens, so that's one thing that's really happy about. So that's maybe the difference why I would want to get that camera. But yeah, returning the XS20 today. Sad about it because it's on my camera, so I have to return it so that I can get other cameras to review as well. But I'm returning it today, but I've enjoyed it thoroughly, to be honest. Bottom line is that I enjoy this camera, and that is one thing that's very important. It's having a piece of gear that pushes you to go shoot is very important. And that is something I want to say and I want to mention. So maybe just before I leave, let me do and I'll put another lens here. I'll put the 50 from Canon. I'll put the 50 STM so that you guys can see how the depth of field looks like, or I'll just put one of the video that I shot yesterday and you guys will be able to see what it looks like. So this is it for me, Emmanuel the Lens. Please don't forget to subscribe. Let's push the channel, guys. Let's push the channel. I've said that I'll be putting a little bit more stuff. So now that I've got the XS20, very impressed about it. Shot a few stuff with it. Shot on the street about it. I'm super amazed and I really love it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is the last video for today, probably the last video as with the XS20. I've said this in the previous video, but this time it is the last one. I'm so sad that I'm bringing back this camera, but yeah, I have to. I've considered the XS20 like a mini XT2S. Is it the XH2S? Yeah, this is like a mini XH2S. You have everything that is there. You have all the recording and all the stuff that you can really dream about. So unfortunately, I can't change some of the recording setting here already, but let's just quickly go back into the menu and I'll show you what this camera is all about.